Stars above the solar system shifted in a way no human telescope had ever seen before. Space itself seemed to fold and stretch as massive shapes appeared out of nothing. They were not meteors, they were not natural, they were ships, thousands of them. The alien armada arrived without sound, without warning, and without fear. Their vessels were ancient and enormous, built with dark metal and glowing lines that pulsed like living veins. They formed perfect formations as they entered the outer edge of the solar system. Far away on a command ship, the alien commander observed the small yellow star ahead. Their species had crossed galaxies, conquered empires, erased civilizations. This target was nothing special. A young system, a weak species, a simple victory, their scanners locked. Onto the planets one by one, Jupiter massive but useless, Saturn, beautiful but empty, then Mars dry, red, small. Nothing important. Earth came next. The scans showed cities' lights, satellites, and primitive defense grids. No planetary shields, no large fleets, no signs of real resistance. The commander felt amusement. This was not going to be a war, it was going to be a lesson on Earth. The night sky changed forever. Astronomers were the first to see it, their screens filled with impossible readings. Objects larger than continents, moving faster than physics allowed. Signals from deep space flooded every observatory within minutes. Emergency alerts spread across the planet. Military bases woke up. Governments called emergency meetings. Civilian networks began to fail. People stepped outside and looked up. The stars were disappearing. Huge shadows crossed the moon, strange lights. It moved silently across the sky. Panic spread through cities and villages alike. The alien armada stopped just past the orbit of Jupiter. They waited on their command ship. A single transmission was prepared. It was translated into every human language. Within seconds, the message was simple. Earth, you are surrounded. You have 10 minutes to surrender. Resistance will result in total extinction. The signal echoed across every screen on the planet. Phones, televisions, billboards, military displays, every human saw it. 10 minutes around the world. Leaders gathered in secure rooms. Some shouted, some prayed, some argued, but something strange happened. There was no chaos among the highest levels of command. No screaming orders, no desperate plans. Instead, there was silence, a calm silence deep beneath mountains and oceans. Systems began to wake up. Energy readings spiked, then spiked again. The alien commander frowned. This was unexpected. Mars was not supposed to be active. The Armada adjusted formation. Slightly weapons charged just in case. Back on Earth, the 10 minutes passed. No surrender came, no message, no plea, no threat. Nothing. The alien commander felt irritation. They sent another signal. Last warning, still no reply. Then something even stranger happened. The Armada sensors detected a sudden drop in background radiation. Space near Mars seemed to bend, as if reality itself was being pressed by an unseen hand. One of the alien officers spoke carefully. The planet is not just armed, it is a weapon. Before the commander could respond, a single beam of light shot from Mars. It did not roar, it did not flash, it simply erased one. The alien ship vanished from existence. No explosion, no debris, just gone. Silence filled the command ship. Then another beam. Another ship gone. Alarms screamed across the Armada formations. Broke orders collided. This was impossible. Their shields should have stopped any known weapon. Their technology was superior by centuries, yet the scans showed no energy. Build up, no warning, only disappearance. The alien commander finally understood something terrifying. Earth had not answered because Earth did not need to. This was not a defense. This was an execution. Mars continued to glow brighter. Layers of hidden structures fully emerged. Massive cannons pointed outward into space, and for the first time since entering the solar system, the alien armada felt fear. Far below on Earth, people watched the sky in silence. They did not cheer, they did not scream, they watched calmly, as if they already knew. The part ends with the alien commander staring at the red planet. Realizing too late they were never meant to reach Earth. The alien armada was no longer perfect. Ships drifted out of formation, signals overlapped, commands repeated without response. The sudden loss of 2 warships had shaken every level of the fleet. These were not scouts or drones, they were fully shielded battleships. Each one capable of destroying a planet, and they were gone. The alien commander stood still, staring at the tactical display. Mars now glowed with patterns that did not exist before. Lines of light spread across its surface like veins of fire. This was not human technology. As the galaxy understood it, this was something else. An officer stepped forward and spoke carefully. Scans indicate Mars has been active for centuries. The weapons were hidden deep beneath. The crust shielded from all long-range detection. The commander clenched their claws. Hidden for centuries, that meant planning, patience, fear, but not fear from humans, fear for something else. The Armada pulled back slightly, creating distance from Mars. Defensive fields were pushed to maximum. Every weapon system was armed. Still, no response came from Earth. This silence was worse than any threat. The alien commander ordered deep scans of human history. They wanted to understand. They needed to understand data streams poured in wars, plagues, nuclear fire, near-extinction events. Again and again, humanity should have destroyed itself. Yet it survived. Not only survived, it adapted. The scans showed something disturbing. After each major disaster, humanity changed direction, not louder, not stronger on the surface, but quieter. Their military spending shifted. And fear on Earth, the silence continued. Civilians were ordered indoors. The skies were clear, except for distant shapes blocking starlight news. Channels showed no leaders, no speeches, no reassurance. People waited. Deep underground human command centers watched. Mars systems reported green across every display. The plan was working. Mars was never a colony. It was never abandoned. It was built layer by layer. Generation by generation, a planet turned into a weapon back in space. The alien Armada debated retreat. Some officers argued for full withdrawal. Others demanded total annihilation of Mars. The commander made a decision: they would test humanity again. A small strike group was ordered forward. 20 ships. Fast, heavily armed, they advanced toward Mars. Firing long-range weapons, human defenses responded instantly. The space between Mars and the ships twisted. The alien missiles vanished mid-flight, as if swallowed. Then human weapons answered. Beams curved, not straight, not predictable. Alien ships tried to evade, but space itself betrayed them. One by one, the strike group disappeared. No wreckage, no signal, no escape. The commander stared in disbelief. This was not warfare, this was control. The Armada finally received a message. Not from Earth, from Mars. It was short, simple, and translated automatically. You were warned long ago. This system has protected. The commander searched for the source. It was not a voice. It was a machine, ancient, cold, patient. The message continued. Earth is humanity home. Mars is its guardian. Do not advance. The alien commander felt the weight of failure. Their empire had never been stopped, never been challenged like this. They ordered a full retreat, but space refused. Human systems locked the Armada in place. Escape routes collapsed. Jump points vanished. The alien officer whispered, they are not attacking randomly. They are removing options. Fear spread through the fleet on Earth. Nothing changed. No celebrations, no cheers, only quiet confidence. People went back inside, trusting something older than themselves. Back near Mars, the commander finally understood. Humanity had prepared for this moment long before the Armada was born. The galaxy believed humans were weak because humans wanted it that way, and now the lie was ending. The commander looked at Mars one final time and realized the truth. This battle was not being fought to save Earth. It was being fought to teach the galaxy, never come here again. The Armada waited helplessly, trapped, outmatched as Mars weapons charged once more. The lesson was about to continue. The alien Armada was frozen in space, not by gravity, not by force, but by rules they did not understand. Their navigation systems screamed errors. Jump engines failed to form corridors. Space itself refused to open. The alien commander watched as fear spread through the fleet crews that had conquered hundreds of worlds, now waited for orders that could not save them. They demanded a counterattack. All remaining weapons were aligned toward Mars planet, cracking beams, reality-cutting lances, weapons powered by stars. The order was given. Fire. The Armada unleashed everything. Space lit up with energy waves of destruction raced toward Mars. Any normal world would have been erased, but Mars did not move. Mars did not defend. Mars absorbed. The energy vanished against invisible layers, not shields, something deeper. The alien commander felt disbelief turn into dread. Humanity was not blocking attacks. Humanity was deciding what attacks were allowed to exist. From Mars, the response came this time. It was not a beam. It was a field. Space around the Armada began to change. Distances stretched. Time slowed in. Uneven waves. Ships found themselves drifting away from each other, then snapping back violently. Hulls cracked. Crews were thrown. Systems failed, humans had not fired weapons. They had rewritten the battlefield deep beneath Mars. Massive structures rotated. In a final position, systems untouched for decades activated. Fully power drawn from the planet core surged upward. The alien commander realized something horrifying. Mars was not the main weapon. It was the trigger across the solar system. Hidden human platforms awakened. They had always been there. Dark, silent, forgotten moons shifted. Asteroids broke formation, revealing metal beneath stone. Even the sun flared in controlled patterns. The Armada was surrounded by things it had never detected. Humanity had turned the entire system into a trap. The first human strike came without warning, not a single massive blast, but thousands of precise removals. Command ships vanished first. Communication relays erased, sensor arrays deleted. The Armada lost coordination in seconds. Alien officers screamed orders that never reached their fleets. Ships collided. Formations collapsed. Some vessels attempted desperate maneuvers. Others tried to overload their reactors. Human systems shut those attempts down calmly. The alien commander watched their empire die, not in fire but in silence. One by one, the ships disappeared, not destroyed, removed as if they had never existed inside a human control center. Beneath Earth, a single officer watched the progress. Their face was calm, almost bored. This was not a battle, it was maintenance. The system reported completion percentages: 30% removed, 50. 70. Humanity did not rush. There was no need. The alien commander finally sent a message, a plea. A demand, an apology. It was ignored. Humans did not negotiate. Once the line was crossed, Mars sent another transmission. This one was longer. Your Armada violated protected space. You ignored warning protocols. You demonstrated hostile intent. Response level applied. Total neutralization. The commander felt their ship shake. Space around it folded inward. They realized they were being isolated. Separated from the rest of the fleet, pulled the view outside the command window. Changed stars, stretched into lines, then vanished. The commander found themselves alone, suspended in darkness. Their ship was intact. Systems functioning, weapons locked. They were not being destroyed. They were being spared. The ship emerged near the edge of the solar system. Far from Mars, far from Earth, a final message appeared. Return to your people. Tell them what you saw. The commander understood this was mercy behind them. The solar system burned with controlled light, not chaos order. One by one, the remaining alien ships vanished. No explosions, no glory, only absence on Earth. People watched the sky clear. Stars returned. The night became normal again. News channels slowly came back online. Governments released short statements. Threat neutralized. No danger remains. Humans returned to their lives. No monuments were built. No holidays declared, because this was not a victory to celebrate. It was a responsibility fulfilled. Far away, the alien commander fled, carrying a truth heavier than any weapon. Humanity was not violent, not cruel, not ambitious. Humanity was careful. They hid, they waited, and when someone came for their home, they ended it. Instantly, the galaxy would learn, or it would disappear, and humanity would continue watching the stars, silent, prepared, unchallenged. What remained of the alien armada drifted in confusion and terror. Entire fleets were missing. Command hierarchies were gone. No central orders existed anymore. Some ships tried to move. They found space stiff and uncooperative. Every direction felt wrong. Every calculation failed. The alien commander who had been spared was already gone. The rest had no guide, no warning, no understanding. Mars continued to glow. Not brighter, but steadier, like a watchful eye that never blinked. Human systems shifted into the next phase. This phase was not destruction. It was sorting. Ships that still carried active weapons were identified. Ships attempting escape were tagged. Ships transmitting hostile signals were isolated. Each choice the aliens made changed their fate. Some vessels powered down everything, weapons off, shields lowered. Signals silent. Those ships were ignored. Others panicked. They fired wildly into empty space. They attempted blind jumps. They overloaded reactors in fear. Those ships vanished. The difference was clear. Humanity was not angry. Humanity was selective. Deep inside Mars, a machine older than most human nations processed the data it had been designed for. One purpose: protect the home system. It did not hate. It did not hesitate. It only calculated risk. Every alien ship was judged, not by species, not by past actions, but by present intent. The galaxy had never faced a defender like this. The remaining alien leaders finally managed to communicate with each other. They shared what little information they had. Mars controlled space. Earth remained silent. Human weapons did not destroy. They removed. One officer spoke the thought none wanted to admit: we were never meant to win. Another answered quietly: we were never meant to fight. The truth spread through the fleet. This was not a war zone, it was a boundary. Humans were not conquering outward, they were holding a line. Anyone who crossed it became a problem, and problems were solved on Earth. Life continued under a strange calm. Schools remained closed. Cities stayed quiet, but there was no panic. People trusted the silence. They had grown up hearing stories, whispers, conspiracies about things hidden on Mars, about why humanity never expanded aggressively, about why humans avoided galactic politics. Now they understood humanity had chosen survival over pride. Far above them, the alien armada shrank with every passing minute, not through explosions but subtraction. Whole squadrons disappeared as if erased from a list. Some alien captains attempted one final act. They aimed their ships toward Earth, engines screaming, weapons glowing. Humanity responded instantly. Space between those ships and Earth collapsed inward. Distances folded. The attackers found themselves trapped in looping paths, flying forever, going nowhere. They would not reach Earth. They would not die. They would drift until their systems failed naturally. A quiet punishment. Mars sent one final system-wide message: this conflict will not expand. The system will remain closed. Survivors are permitted to leave. No pursuit will follow this. Shocked, the remaining aliens, humanity was allowing escape, not because it could not destroy them, but because it did not need to fear would do the rest. Slowly, carefully, the surviving alien ships powered up limited engines. Human systems opened narrow corridors, controlled temporary. One by one, the survivors fled the solar system. None looked back. Mars dimmed its surface structures, slowly sank back beneath the crust. Energy readings dropped. Weapons returned to dormancy. The trap closed itself from the outside. Nothing remained, no wreckage, no scars. No sign that anything had happened. The solar system looked peaceful again. On Earth, leaders finally spoke to the public there. Words were simple: the threat is gone. Earth is safe. No details were given. Humans did not want glory. They did not want attention. Attention invited danger far beyond human space. The survivors spread out, carrying stories no one wanted to believe. They spoke of a planet that was a weapon, of a species that hid its strength, of a defense system that judged intent, not identity. Many listened, many laughed, until the scans were confirmed. Entire fleets missing, entire armadas erased without battle debris. The galactic councils argued, empires denied, warlords scoffed, but borders near human space slowly shifted. Trade routes changed, explorers turned away. Maps were redrawn, not because humanity demanded it, but because everyone understood some places were not meant to be tested. Back on Earth, the skies returned to normal. Children went back outside. Astronomers stared at quiet stars. Only Mars held the memory silent, watching, waiting. The war had ended before it ever truly began, and the galaxy had learned something fundamental: humanity did not need to rule the stars. It only needed to protect one small corner of them. And it would do so without hesitation, without warning, and without mercy, if forced again. Far beyond the solar system, the survivors of the Armada scattered in silence. Their ships were damaged, their crews shaken, their pride broken. They did not travel together. Fear kept them apart. Each ship carried the same story, but none wanted to be the first to speak it aloud. When they finally reached friendly systems, alarms were raised. Docking bays sealed, defense fleets mobilized. No one expected survivors. The Armada had been declared unstoppable. Yet here they were broken. The first reports reached the galactic councils within days, then hours, then minutes. An entire armada had vanished near human space. No wreckage, no radiation, no clear battle, only fragments of sensor data and terrified witnesses. The councils demanded explanations. They demanded proof. The alien commander who had been spared finally appeared before them. Their image projected across hundreds of worlds. They looked smaller, older, changed. They spoke slowly, choosing every word with care. We went to Earth. We believed humans were weak. We believed Mars was empty. We were wrong. The council chambers filled with noise, anger, denial, mockery. The commander continued, Mars is not a colony. It is not a base. It is a system-wide defense core. Space itself obeys it. We did not fight humans. We were judged by them. Silence spread, the commander explained. Everything, the vanished ships, the bending of space, the way weapons simply stopped existing. They described how humans did not shout, did not threaten, did not celebrate. They simply acted. Some council members accused the commander of fear madness. Others accused them of treason. Then the data was released, raw sensor feeds, unfiltered, entire fleets blinking out of existence, coordinates becoming empty space, no known. Technology matched it. Panic followed. Empires that once boasted endless fleets began to calculate losses. Warlords canceled campaigns. Expansion halted overnight. Human space became a question mark. No official borders were declared. No warning beacons placed, yet everyone knew, do not go there. Historians began searching human history, old records. First contact reports, early encounters, patterns emerged. Humans avoided conflict. Humans retreated when pushed. Humans surrendered territory easily until their home was threatened. Then no one survived long enough to brag. A new term spread quietly across the galaxy, the quiet species. It was not meant as praise. It was not meant as insult. It was fear wrapped in words. On Earth, life returned almost fully to normal. Cities reopened, ships resumed travel. Children looked at Mars with new curiosity, but the details remained classified, not because humans were ashamed, but because secrecy had always been their strongest shield. Leaders met privately. Systems were reviewed. Defenses reset. Mars returned to sleep, yet humanity knew something had changed. The galaxy had seen a glimpse behind the masks. Some humans worried. Others felt relief. The waiting was over. Years passed. No new fleets came. No probes crossed. The boundary trade envoys stopped. Far from human space, messages were sent carefully, politely. Humanity answered few when they did. Their words were calm. We wish peace. Do not approach our system. The message was always the same. Far away, the alien commander lived in exile. Their empire no longer trusted them yet. They were alive. That alone marked them. They spent their days writing, recording everything they had seen, not as a warning, but as a record. They knew someday someone would test the boundary again. Someone always did, but the story would be there waiting. On a distant world, a young alien studied star maps. They noticed a wide, empty region, no routes, no markers. They asked their teacher, "Why is no one there?" The teacher answered quietly, "Because that is where humans live, and humans do not like visitors." The galaxy adapted slowly, carefully. Power shifted away from brute force toward caution, toward diplomacy. Humanity had not intended to change the galaxy, but it had. By showing what true defense looked like, not conquest, not domination, but absolute certainty that some lines must never be crossed. Back on Mars, a single system remained awake, barely watching, listening. It recorded every signal, every distant movement, patient, because humanity understood something the galaxy was still learning. Peace was not maintained by strength alone. It was maintained by the memory of what happens when peace is ignored, and that memory now echoed across the stars, clear, unchallenged. And terrifying, the galaxy waited, and humanity waited with it. Time passed, in the way it always did for humanity. Quietly, steadily, without ceremony, years turned into decades. Decades into generations. The solar system remained untouched. No alien probes crossed the boundary, no fleets tested the silence, no empires issued threats. Humanity watched patient as stone children grew up, hearing stories that sounded like myths about a night when the stars vanished, about Mars glowing like fire, about a war that never became a war. Most believed the stories were exaggerated symbols of unity, lessons for peace. Only a few knew the truth deep beneath Earth. And Mars, the system, still existed, unchanged, unforgotten. They did not age, they did not sleep. Fully they waited. Far across the galaxy, the balance of power shifted. Old empires weakened, new alliances formed. Force was no longer respected. Caution was. When disputes arose, leaders asked a single question: will this draw human attention? If the answer was yes, the dispute ended. Humanity never asked for influence, never demanded respect. It arrived anyway. One day a signal appeared at the edge of the solar system. Weak, careful, open. It was not a fleet, not a weapon. It was a single ship, unarmed, slow, broadcasting peace codes. Continuously, Mars noticed immediately. The system evaluated intent, scanned weapons, confirmed Offline, the ship waited. Days passed, then a response came, not from Earth, not from Mars, from empty space. Itself. State your purpose, the alien aboard the ship answered calmly, voice shaking. Despite preparation, we come to war. Speak, not to approach, not to test. We come to learn. Silence followed. Then a corridor opened, narrow, precise. The ship was guided no closer than a loud, never near Earth, never near Mars, only far enough to be heard. A human representative appeared on screen. Not in armor, not in uniform, just a human. They listened. The alien spoke of fear, of mistakes, of a galaxy learning restraint. They asked a question no one had dared to ask before. Why did you stop? Why not destroy us all? The human did not answer immediately. Then they spoke. Because you left, because you learned, because destruction was never the goal. The alien hesitated, then asked the question that mattered. What happens if someone does not learn? The human looked away for a moment toward Mars, toward the quiet red dot, then answered. Then we remind them. The message was clear, not a threat, a statement of fact. The meeting ended peacefully. The alien ship departed. Unchallenged, words spread quickly. Humanity was willing to speak, but never to be pushed back. On Earth, people continued living ordinary lives. They argued, they laughed, they dreamed. Few thought about the galaxy, fewer still thought about Mars, but Mars thought about everything. Tracked stars, watched patterns, measured intent. It remembered. Far away, a young alien asked their elder why humans were so feared, why a single system held such power. The elder answered, because they do not seek war, and because they end it completely when it comes. Another asked, will they ever expand? The elders shook their head. They already have, not with ships, but with certainty. Years later, another empire rose. Young, proud, hungry, they questioned. The stories laughed at old fears. They sent scouts. The scouts vanished. No explosion, no message, just absence. The empire stopped asking questions. Humanity never spoke of it. Because humanity did not need to. The galaxy now understood the final lesson. Earth was not the center of power. Mars was not a symbol of domination. There were boundaries, and boundaries existed for one reason: to protect what mattered. The story ends not with fire, not with triumph, but with a quiet truth. Humanity did not destroy the alien armada to prove strength. Humanity destroyed it to preserve peace, and peace remained, not because the galaxy loved humans, but because the galaxy remembered what happened the last time someone came for Earth.